manager here at Braddock Farm. Today we are going to explore the farm looking for some signs of spring and some edible crops that may have overwintered here. So we're examining things on the farm here today and see what's coming up in the spring. And here's our garlic. So we plant this in October and it comes up in the fall, and already we got about 4 inches of garlic. Looking pretty good. This part of the garden are our kale and collards. They all survive the winter. This doesn't happen every year, but it's very exciting when it does. So what we're going to look for is an edible crop called rob. So we'll have kale rob and collard rob. So if you look closely at the top, you'll see a flowering stalk. So it looks a lot like broccoli, and that's because they're related. So as this part grows up and gets a little bit bigger, you'll be able to snap it off, and you can eat this just like broccoli rabe, and it's delicious. So if we look over here, this is Dino Kale, or lacinato kale, that also survived the winter, and we have some kale rabe. So this is a delicious spring vegetable. We don't get it every year, only whenever everyone survives the winter. And although it was cold, it was really snowy. I think the snow protected the kale and the collards and kept it alive. And it looks like our cabbage has survived too. So over here, we harvested the cabbage last fall, and it sent up a whole bunch of little cabbage heads. And they're almost ready. They'll be really small, like giant Brussels sprouts, when they're ready. Okay, so over here, these are our purple top turnips. These are your normal turnips. These ones got a little bit weird shapes, but they survived the winter, and they're producing these delicious turnip greens. Here is some arugula, came up from last year, and it's sending up these little flower stalks. But what I really like about arugula is the flowers. These flowers, they're very dainty, but they are sweet and delicious. So I'll harvest this part when they're open flowers, and I'll cook this up and eat it. Right here we have a bok choy that survived. You can kind of make out the bok choy shape. Again, the thing we're after here is the flowering stalk. We have so many delicious flowering stalks. These are great cooked up too. So over here, these are Napa cabbages that survived. You can see these ones have a top that looks a lot like broccoli, and these ones have started to open up the flowers. Anywhere it's tender and you can snap it off is good to eat. Right here, these are our scallions. And so these are a special onion called an Egyptian walking onion. They send up a seed stalk at the top that produces little seeds. And we plant those little seeds in the fall, and we get some scallions out of them that we can eat in the fall. We usually don't pick them all, so we leave them out there in the field, and they grow up, and we have really early scallions in the springtime. So over here, these are our overwintered onions. So we planted these last fall, and then we protected them with row cover. And these are going to be nice big bulb onions. It's like the nice big ones. They'll be ready for sale sometime in May. This stuff here looks a lot like grass. This is actually our cover crop. This is rye, like the grain people put in bread. So we plant this in the fall, and it does survive the winter. It's very cold hardy, and then it grows up real fast in the spring. So this will find all the nitrogen in the soil and keep it there, and then save it for the crops in the following spring. So this is a really good crop to keep the soil quality high. I have this pile of chip stuff. So what is this? So we did some garden cleanup. We grow okra, lots of okra. It gets very tall. This is some of it. Rotted a little bit over the winter. We cut it down in the fall, let it rot up a little bit, and then we ran it through chipper. So this is what it looks like. You can see it has these nice long fibers. Some people actually make rope out of it. It's very strong material. But we're going to spread this back on the field. Here, these are our strawberries. They're starting to put on some new growth from last year. I even noticed a couple flowers. Over here we have some spinach, and all of it survived as well. Overwintered spinach is the best spinach in the world. It's very sweet, very good. Over here we have our Pawpaw Tree. So if you look real closely, it's starting to send out flower buds. They're not quite open yet, but they'll be open